If you like running and lifting weights, my friend, you're in. HYROX is for you. In today's video, we're gonna talk about HYROX, one of the most popular competition in the fitness industry right now. Let's start by understanding what is HYROX, and then we can figure out how to train for it. What is HYROX? HYROX is a hybrid fitness race where you combine a bunch of cardio with lifting weights. When we talk about cardio, what is stand out is running. Also, there's a little bit of rowing and ski. And when we talk about lifting, it's basically resistance training. Think about exercise like sled push, sled pull, farmer's carry, burpee broad jumps, medicine ball wall balls, walking lunges. The level of entry or the complexity of this exercise is really low. What it brings a big opportunity for everyone to join this type of event. HYROX is here to stay, and the most important part is super beginner friendly. I want you to think about HYROX as a competition where you're gonna be running about 8 kilometers. That's about 5 miles, close to that. And every single kilometer, you're gonna stop in a specific station and you're gonna perform a specific exercise. The cool thing about HYROX is that you know exactly what is the order, what are the exercise, what is the weights, the volume. Basically, you have all the information you need to dissect the whole race and understand what it is and how to train for it. And that's what we're gonna do right now. When we think about HYROX, I like to think about two things. The first thing will be, what are the adaptations I need to be able to perform on my vest? And second of all, what is the priorities on my training? When I think about the adaptations that my body needs to complete this type of race, I think about three main adaptations: aerobic capacity, muscle endurance, and strength. So let's go through these three main adaptations where we're gonna build the training around. When we think about aerobic capacity, immediately my brain goes to running. If you think about HYROX as a whole, 60% of it is just running. So you need to be really good at running. Better than being good at running, you need to be comfortable running for a long period of time. Also, take into consideration that two of those stations are cardio-based, such the rowing station and the skier station. So if you think about in general, you can say then it's a little bit more than 60% cardio. So your endurance, your aerobic capacity has to be on point. That's gonna be by far the most important adaptation you need to develop for this type of event. The second adaptation that I want you to think about when you're building your training is muscular endurance, because this is the capacity of your body to perform multiple repetitions without rest or with the minimum amount of rest. When we're talking about HYROX, when we're getting into these stations where they give you like, hey, you gotta perform 100 wall balls right now, your muscle need to be able to handle volume, where you're using weights, when you're doing contraction, muscular contractions every single time for over and over and over. And remember, every single kilometer we have to stop and perform a specific exercise. And this exercise, the volume is relatively high. So we need to train the capacity of our body to perform this volume and being able to recover fast, to get back to running, to get back to the next stations. So training muscle endurance for this type of event is key in order to complete successfully a HYROX competition. I just want to mention, I just built up a full program for HYROX for beginners, if you're a beginner, or for advanced athlete. The difference is like the volume, the paces, the exercise selection, right? So if you're a beginner, you're gonna be doing an easy exercise that is gonna prepare you to the HYROX competition. If you're an advanced athlete, well, you're gonna get into double sessions, you're gonna be a little bit more focusing on like hitting paces, hitting percentages, because the goal with this one is to perform at your best. So if you're interested in this, I'm just gonna drop the links right on my description so you can go ahead and start your training right now. Right, lastly, strength is the less important out of these three adaptations. Technically, you don't need to be super strong in order to perform a HYROX. You just need to be strong enough to move the weights and they prescribe. So, priority number one, cardio work. Priority number two, muscle endurance. Priority number three will be strength. For running, super simple. Zone 2 training will be the majority of your training. Think about going for 3 to 5 miles, easy pace, keep your heart rate down, conversational pace. Then you got this like compromise running where you elevate your heart rate and then you try to get into paces, because that's basically how it's gonna look like. And lastly, speed work or power, where you're gonna be working in sprints, and it's gonna give you that extra gear in order to develop a better paces on your running. So that's kind of like the three type of running that we're gonna be building into our training. Then we're thinking about muscle endurance. When we think about muscle endurance, a good technique to develop this muscle endurance is by using EMOMs. Every minute on the minute, you gotta perform an amount of reps. And little by little, you can increase the amount of reps that you perform and decrease the amount of rest. So for example, if you wanted to perform 100 wall balls unbroken, it's not that you're gonna go and shot 100 right away. You can start 10 every minute on the minute, then you go 15 every minute on the minute, then 20 every minute on the minute, right? So as you're moving forward, you can cut up the time that you rest to be more efficient with this type of training. So muscle endurance will be super important in this type of training, and I would say after running, this is the most important one, because that's where you're gonna practice moving the weights, performing the exercise as fast and efficient as possible. So you're gonna train your body to handle the volume. Also, when you're training on muscle endurance, you're gonna introduce working from a deficit, where you put yourself in a deficit. Let's say you go ahead and do 10 calories on the assault bike as fast as you can, right into 20 wall balls. And then you repeat and repeat and repeat. So what you train is the capacity of your body to adapt to this high stress scenario by doing these sprints right into work, right? So think about muscle endurance as a something challenge, as a something that is gonna mimic the competition, as a something that is gonna help you to handle the volume as fast and efficient as possible. So when you think about strength training for HYROX, I'm thinking immediately lower body is key. I'm doing a lot of sled push, walking lunges, running, rower, so everything involves my legs pretty much. So getting into squat cycle will be super helpful. Don't make it fancy. You can use a Smith machine, you can use a barbell, a back rack, but make sure you go heavy on those squats to develop strength on your legs. That's gonna also help you with your muscular endurance on your legs. So when we think about upper body, we got some pulling motions for the sled pull. We got the wall balls, which is upper push, and also we got the burpees. That's a little bit of pushing as well. So we got some stuff that involves some upper body. So something like pull-ups, bench press, strict press will be beneficial in order to develop this strength training. So a good recommendation will be going with squats, bench press, pull-ups, and strict press. If you do like a small cycle where you can hit those 4 exercises in 2 or 3 days during the week, that's more than enough for strength. The only thing that I want you to take into consideration is a progressive overload when you're prescribing this exercise for yourself. Think about when you're doing strength, 3 to 5 sets, 3 to 5 reps, 3 to 5 minute rest between, right? Going heavy. All right, guys, in conclusion, HYROX is here to stay. It's a discipline where you need to be real efficient with your cardio, with your running specifically, but you also need to be strong enough to move the weights. You need to be able to handle the volume. So that's why muscle endurance and strength is a big component of this type of training without taking your running away from you. So it's kind of like playing around between those two main areas of training, strength training and cardio, to make the best athletic version of yourself, because the goal with this is to do it as fast as possible. I hope this video was valuable for you. If you have any question, please feel free to put it down in the comments. I will get back to you. Go ahead, get ready, and start training for your next HYROX. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.